If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Good to have you on board. Busy hour coming up. We'll get into the two playoff games that we have on the betting board tonight in this hour. Also props that we have. Baseball, NBA, WNBA. And here we start talking PGA Tour. We'll move on from the PGA Championship and get into the Charles Schwab. As Jeff Sealey joins the program now, you can follow him on X. He is at Cutmaker Jeff. And the Cutmaker podcast is going to be out this evening as well, wherever you get your podcast. Jeff, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Hey, fellas. Excited for the WNBA season to start as well. Big Fever fan here. So really excited about seeing Caitlin Clark and the ladies get rolling.
Yeah, that you are. You're a huge fan and several bets on her and that team this year to win the whole thing. Before we get into the Charles Schwab, I want to go back to last week when you came on here and you were tipping two different guys in the winner without Scottie Scheffler market to win the PGA Championship. One was, Rory? The other one was Bryson, if I recall correctly. So then for people who listened to you on that and they were betting that market and doing parlays that you discussed, how was it graded where you were betting that? Because, yes, Scheffler won, but then you had DeChambeau, English, and Riley all tie for second place.
Yeah, so, guys, I not only did I do that, but I did a couple of them live throughout the course of the tournament, right? So through members of my site and everything, I said, hey, let's get some more Bryson winner without. So, for example, I did a Bryson winner without parlay to the Indiana Fever like you talked about. And they did not downgrade my parlay. So it was at the time it was plus 600 and it's still plus 600. So and the payout didn't adjust. So maybe they'll go back and correct it. Hopefully they don't. But it's been so far so good on the winner without parlays that I've done. So I didn't see a downgrade in the pricing then.
How about other books that offer? Because you always talk about avoid. Like with the ties, because there was like a 7 or 8 way tie for 19th. You always talk about that. Do you know how many books won't downgrade you if that happens?
You know what? But what I'm seeing, and most of the time, though, guys, most markets are paying out the ties included. Now, I know DraftKings and FanDuel are these days, and a lot of your others are. Again, it's obviously important to read the fine print, but most of the larger books, I live in the Midwest, and most of the ones that I see these days are paying ties pay full. But again, always know your rules, always read, and I think but the main books I'm seeing are getting on board with it.
Well, let's get into the Charles Schwab then. I'm looking at the odds board right now here on the screen at DraftKings, and Scotty, he's plus 240 to win. Just your overall thoughts on who is in this field with him at the Charles Schwab this week and that number attached to his name.
Yeah, I mean, guys, any model you run, he's so clearly far and away the best player. I mean, I honestly don't think like $3 is a terrible price. That said, I'm exclusively looking at the winner without market this week because I think the odds are almost as, they're not quite as good, but they're almost as good relative to what's available with Scotty. So that's everything I'll talk about today, and the pricing I'll talking about is all in the winner without market because I have no interest in taking on Scotty this weekend.
I don't blame you. All right, so then tied at 22 to 1 is Spieth and Berger. Do you want to start there?
Yeah, I like Daniel Berger this week. He won this event in 2020, and he comes in with great form. And his last 6 starts range from 3rd at the RBC to no worse than 33rd. 10th in the field in fairways gained and 3rd in approach, which you're going to have to hit fairways and you're going to have to hit greens, these small greens this week. There's only one concern with Berger, and that's his usually solid putting. Hasn't been great the last 3 weeks, where he's uncharacteristically lost in 3 straight on the green. So not thrilled with that. But my favorite way to play Berger this week is top 20. I found him even money at DraftKings. It's nothing sexy, but I am concerned about the putting. But I'm very confident in his ability to find fairways and hit greens. So I'll make a small bet on the winner without market. But one of my biggest bets this week is going to be Daniel Berger top 20.
All right, how about Aaron Rye?
Everything I said about Berger is true for Aaron Rye. Nobody in the field hits more fairways than Aaron Rye. He hits this low cut that finds the fairway every time. Approach game's very solid. His putting is simply bad, and he's putted really badly at this event. That said, he's finished as high as 12th here and has finished between 18th and 38th in his last 6 straight events. So current form is very solid. Again, another straightforward one for me. Pretty boring, but Aaron Rye, top 20 at plus 125. I think you can play a little on the outright but look at him in the top 20 market there. And if we want to talk about a guy who can putt, Harris English, guys, he's 30-1 in the winner without market. We saw him make a really nice run at the PGA Championship. He's gained over 8 strokes putting at this event twice. No stranger to this event, has finished as high as second here and has a 5th place finish in a second and a 5th in his 9 total starts. So terrific form coming in. As I mentioned, a T2 last week at the PGA Championship, 4 top 20s in his last 5 events. There's no reason to not believe that he'll finish inside the top 20 again this week. So aside from the RBC in Houston, his iron play has been very good. He's gained with the putter in 5 of the last 6. Another guy, top 20, plus 140, my favorite way to play English. But I think he's a guy you could look at a ladder bet this week. So I could see playing him top 20, top 10, top 5 with a little on the outright. And then lastly in this range, guys, JT Poston, 2 finishes inside the top 12 here. Another guy we saw perform really well, T5 last week, hits fairways and putts very well. If he can carry over the iron play that he flashed at the PGA Championship, this 35-1 of the winner without market is going to look very, very attractive. So gained an average of 3.5 strokes over his last 7 events after losing with the putter in 7 straight. So the move east has definitely been a welcome sight for his putter. But I like him again, top 20 at plus 160. And if you want to do something sexy with these guys and get a little interesting, you can parlay all 4 of these guys to finish top 20. That pays 27-1 if you want to be creative.
All right, follow the money. Pauly and Mitch, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Jeff Sealey, our guest at Cutmaker Jeff on X. Cutmaker Pod, new pod coming up this evening. And check that out. He's had plenty of winners in the last couple months. How about the bomb of the week?
Bomb of the week, guys. Every week I run my first grade model and it's provided some really surprising results. When I ignored EVR a few weeks ago, he made a great run. I'm not ignoring it anymore. So Scotty Scheffler comes in number 1 in my first grade model. Number 2 is Henrik Norlander, who is 110-1 winner without. His history's been bad here, but there are a few things to get excited about with Norlander this week. His iron play has been fantastic. He's gained on approach in 9 straight events, which has led to 3 top 20s in his last 8 tournaments. Putting's been very good as well, gaining with the putter in 5 of his last 6 events. And he comes in with a very solid 23rd in the field in fairways gained. You're going to have to hit fairways this week. If you're looking for a fun bomb to play in the winner without market, a first-round leader play, he's 100-1 first-round leader. I also believe plus 360, very interesting top 20 play. I can see a very clear path this week, given what it takes to be successful here for a fun result on Henrik Norlander.
All right, very good. And there's your Charles Schwab wrap-up with Jeff Sealey. Follow him on X. He's at Cupmaker Jeff. You mentioned at the very beginning of this, you're huge into the WNBA. You live in that city. I'm sure you're going to be going to plenty of Fever games this year with Caitlin Clark. They're playing tonight. They're lane 7. Pauly and I just talked about this. Is that a little bit short? And also, would you consider, if you like him, if you can put the Phantom aside and talk about it as a bettor here, would you go around the world maybe and look at first quarter, first half full game tonight?
I do like that, and I like it. I like it with a Boston double-double parlay too, right? I like maybe the Fever with the 7 and then Boston double-double. I mean, she's going to score. She's going to score double-digit points, and I think she'll get double-digit rebounds again. So I like that. One thing I played a lot last year, guys, until they caught up with it. I played the Caitlin Clark assist number all the time. It started the year at 6, and they eventually got up to 9 towards the end of the year. But that's a number that I think you can confidently play on a regular basis. Is generally her assists over, as long as they're 8 or 9. If you're playing some parlays, because I won't be surprised at all if she averages a triple double this year. I mean, the way she's going, it's going to be insane, and she gets tons of assists.
Very good. All right, Jeffrey, enjoy that game tonight and the event on the PGA Tour this week as well. Thank you.
Fellas, take care.
Best of luck. There you go. He joined us on the Progressive guest line.
Minus 350 to finish top 10, Scotty. Minus 180 to finish top 5. Okay.
It's completely bonkers.
Yeah.
I did tell you yesterday, I took a little bit of him at plus 480 to win the U.S. Open because reading what that event's going to be like, it's going to be the average golfer out there.
Oakmont?
Yes, Oakmont. Mm-hmm. It's going to be absolutely brutal, according to the reports I was reading. And I told you I want elite guys to win the majors this year.
Yep.
So, and then I saw the Westgate open him up at plus 350, and there was a 480 on the board. I'm like, okay, I'll take at least a small bet on him at 480, put that in pocket. And I had a bigger bet on DeChambeau at 15-1, but that would be like if Scotty would win it, at this point would be a small winner to the event. But he's like, this dude's never out of it. Again, even when Humans had a great point yesterday when we saw him as they were getting ready to do VSiN primetime after us. Matt Humans said, like at one point on, Friday, he's sitting around 20th place or 22nd place. Uh-huh. He's 3-1 to win it?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
He genuinely now has turned into Tiger Woods over like more than a full calendar year.
He's journalism. No need to panic.
Yeah. Yeah, the run's coming.
Yep, betting on sports. Why not try the races? First Bet lets you wager on hundreds of horse races every day from top tracks across the USA and around the world. Sign up firstbet.com, promo code VSiN200. Claim a 20% rebate for your first 60 days, up to $200. Head to firstbet.com today. They're starting that Twins game. They're picking that up in an hour.
So here's the way it looks now, too, because it was supposed to be a doubleheader today. This is big for the most wins in May market. They are only going to try to get this game in today. And they are not going to try to get in the game. They're only going to play the scheduled game tomorrow. That's it. So they're going to automatically miss at least one game here.
Big.
And if they can't get this game in tonight, they're not going to get 2 games in. That's huge.
Yep.
But now we need the Tigers to take care of the Cardinals tonight because the Cardinals just are insane as well.
15-2 run, whatever. 13-2 run for the Cardinals?
Yep.
Yeah.
History hasn't been kind to teams coming off of a 7-game series versus those who are not. The glaring numbers next here on VSiN.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome in. It is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard, live downtown Las Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is the spot. We have Game 1 tonight, Western Conference Finals in the NBA. Timberwolves and the Thunder. And, I said this to begin the show, Pauly, an hour and 15 minutes ago, right before we got on. They were playing games with a point spread here, as most books had OKC 7, but the 7.5s were completely wiped out. BetMGM nationally and South Point here in Las Vegas had 6.5. And then right before the show started, BetMGM said, well, we took some money on 6.5, moved it past 7, went back to 7.5. And the South Point also, 6.5s were wiped out, went back to 7. Now, as we speak, BetMGM is back to 6.5. Here's the history on this, by the way. 51 examples of teams off of a 7-game series against an opponent that did not go the distance in their previous series. That goes back to 2004. And teams off of a Game 7, like OKC is tonight, they are 19-31-1 ATS. That's below 40% in those games. 92 times a team played Game 1 after being involved in a 7-game series over the last 37 years. They're 35-57 straight up. 31 of the 92 teams lost by double digits. History says it has not gone well for teams like OKC in this spot tonight.
Well, it could be maybe it's too much rest for Minnesota and it's rust. That could happen too with the layoff. So I'm also interested that we've got a 5-point move on the total from where it opened up at. Now we're seeing as high as 218.5.
Yeah.
So I think this will be a lower scoring series, could be, and I think the fireworks will be in the East with Indiana and New York. Interested to see what the pace looks like here, and two great defensive teams, at least with OKC, and how well Minnesota's played with rim protection and what they've done, slowing down the Lakers and shutting down Golden State, although you didn't have Curry.
Well, here's where the total, right, this is all 2025 NBA now. It's been like this for a while. But if Minnesota comes out and they're going to shoot 43s tonight or more than that, and they hit 20 of them, then it's going to go flying over the total, right? And they did that in one of the games that they played in early February.
Yeah.
They could not miss in the first half. Everything they put up was going in.
Yep. They need to bottle what they did in that third quarter and that second half when they ran out Golden State, because that's the offense that you want to see, and getting everyone involved and knocking down shots, but also Ant being aggressive and going to the basket.
Now, how about this? So they split the season series. Each team won 2 games. The T-Wolves covered 3 out of the 4. And Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert, along with Dante DiVincenzo, each player missed 3 of those 4 games. And they did that well against them. So players like Terrence Shannon and Jalen Clark averaged about 25 minutes per game over 3 games.
It's a good point. They almost beat them 3 out of 4, and these guys won 68 games.
So, and then the true stud in the series, well, it was SGA if you want to include both teams. He was amazing. The Wolves had no answer for him. But for Minnesota, it was Naz Reid. And so without Gobert and Randall for a majority of that time, Reid averaged almost 38 minutes per game over the 4 games, most out of any player. And he also averaged 22.5 points and 11 boards per game. So is it something where that's the type of player? I would actually think that Naz Reid comped to P.J. Washington from last year is pretty fair. I like Naz Reid more. But remember, the reason why Oklahoma City lost last year in the playoffs was because P.J. Washington had the series of his life, or he played the best 6-game stretch he'll ever play. And Naz Reid played like that over 4 games against this team.
You have to be encouraged, and you have to be confident, because Denver took them to 7, and Denver had 0 depth, guys hurt, and they weren't that good. They just had a great player. So here I have a great player, the face of the league now moving forward, and he's going to embrace that, and then it's all the others and so many weapons that they have. Not to mention what Randall, he wasn't available, as you mentioned, but what Randall has done in the playoffs so far, getting 24, 6, and 6. So if he shoots 50% again, which he has for the first 2 rounds, and delivers those kind of numbers, then this team is going to be tough to beat, and I think they're going to win it. And I think, again, it goes back to getting there last year helps them, falling on their faces. Not a typical 6 seed. Throw it out. All these teams were bunched up, and they're 25-6 since March 1st. And you still have to worry about if SGA goes off, well, who helps them out? Who are the others? As I mentioned at the top of the show, Williams was 10 of 43 in games 4 through 6. You can't count on some of these guys.
He did play well against Minnesota in the regular season. He averaged 20 points per game, almost 7 assists, and he shot like 46%. Now, is that going to carry over? Does that mean anything? Or is the recent play here, and he was really, really good in Game 7 against Denver, is that more of a telltale sign of what's going to happen here? Because I'm with you. Who's it going to be off the bench? Is it going to be Caruso every game? I doubt it. Is it going to be Cason Wallace? I like the guy a lot, but can you count on him for 7 games overall? I don't know. Well, I think Wiggins can have a spot or 2 in the series, but every game seems unlikely to me.
Dort, they're going to leave him open and get ready for a ton of zone.
Yeah, that's
what Denver did, and that's what Minnesota did in the regular season. It's going to be more of that. Finch watched what Denver did and had a lot of success with it. How bad was their offense in the road games? It's terrible. It
was really bad. But I also want to come back and say, can we rely on guys from Minnesota like Neil Alexander-Walker? His shot is completely disappeared.
McDaniels, yes.
Do you think he's going to have a big series?
Yes. Conley, no. Conley's old.
And there's also an angle here, Pauly, how much Rudy Gobert are we going to get?
Uh-huh.
Now, he's been elite defensively so far in the playoffs. But there is a spot here where the Wolves are going to have to bend and play in him because he's going to give you, I think, nothing offensively here. Because OKC, first of all, Gobert is, he does nothing on offense anyway. He's hideous to watch. It's an eyesore. So that's going to be compounded in this series because of who OKC can have down low and defend him. So I think while his defense is going to mean a lot, I think that actually how much he's going to play will impact this series going over the total or under. Because if you told me right now that it was going to be Naz Reid and Randall out there and Naz Reid was still going to play 30-plus minutes a game, I think we're going to get an over series. Because I like Minnesota's chances offensively when they go small. against Oklahoma City. I think that's their best bet. But I got to tip my hat to Gobert because he has just been a monster so far in the playoffs defensively.
Game leaders. SGA $1.60 most points tonight. Ant 3-1. Williams 9, Randall 11. Okay. Most threes, Ant plus 155, Dort 750, Randall 10, SGA 13, Williams 14.
I would only look down the board. I would not be looking at Ant in this game.
Okay. You rebounds, we can't find your guy, Naz Reid. He's not offered at DraftKings. And I don't see that offered at Will Hill either.
I was told it was that Bet365 has, get this, 125-1 most rebounds tonight.
Oh, sounds about right. Okay.
Yeah.
Get down. Rudy plus 225, Hartenstein 270, Chet plus 310, and assists, SGA is the favorite. Randall's 4-1, so is Ant, and Williams, Conley's 14. Then you're getting in some big prices there as well. How about at Will Hill and Caesars? Will a game go to overtime? 2-1. 2+ games to go to overtime, 16-1. Ant to make 3 threes in every game, 7-1. Will he score 20 in every game? Plus 175. I want that for Brunson. But Brunson's 25. But it's also a juicy price.
I saw 20.
You did?
I saw 20. I think it's at BetMGM. They had Will Brunson score 20 in every game. I want to say it was like minus 110.
Okay. They're offering 25 at like 6-1 at Will Hill. Will a team come back and win a game from down 20? Plus 355.
Well, the way that
Minnesota blows leads.
I would not be surprised, honestly, if that happens. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Randall to get 6 rebounds in every game, 4-1. Will he have a triple-double in the series, plus 750?
In the series, plus 750.
They offer that for Hart, too.
You know,
I said, SGA's 6-1 to have a triple-double, and he's plus 450 to have 6 times in every game.
Boy, SGA is going to do, I think, whatever he wants here in the series, isn't he?
Yeah. It's okay. I can live with it. I'm okay with that. Because what he did in the regular season, and now it's a whole different ball game come playoff time, and maybe these guys, the moment's too big, and they choke. And like I think it was Cohen who said it yesterday, like Ryan Russillo pointed out, that they went through playoff puberty here in their last series against Denver. Because, I mean, you have to be concerned with what happened on the road. You're down 30 to Memphis? You couldn't blow out Memphis without Ja? That was a tight game? You lose 2 or 3 in Denver, and the one game you were down big in the fourth quarter. Then game 5, you're down 12 late in the third quarter at home.
I can also come back and say they played 3 games where they absolutely smoked the competition by, 40 points or more so far in the playoffs? 3 out of 11 games? You know, so it's been...
It hasn't been the team that ran through the regular season, though, and ran over people.
Not for the duration of the playoffs, no.
No. Okay, get the G-Bank Visa Signature Card today. Most credit card, street sports books, and gaming transactions as cash advances, even when you put your own money on the card. And G-Bank treats gaming transactions as purchases, so you're saving up to 3 to 5% on cash advance fees and gaming transactions. And with G-Bank, you're earning 1% cash back on eligible sportsbook and gaming transactions and 2% cash back rewards on eligible purchases. Apply now, VSiN.com/Gbank, VSiN.com/Gbank.
We have a plethora of props to get into for tonight. Caitlin Clark props, outstanding batter versus pitcher numbers, and more strong data on this NBA matchup. That's coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Thank you to Mark Hoppel on X. You can always follow the show at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Pauly Howard. The Twins-Cleveland game has been postponed. Today's game will be made up in September. And as Twins Central is saying on X, quote, a doubleheader tomorrow, beginning at 12:10 Central, with the resumption of Monday's game followed by the originally scheduled game. However, rain is still in the forecast. So, might not be happening.
At DraftKings, updated numbers, Minnesota plus 220, Phillies plus 240, Tigers plus 340, Cardinals 5-1. Cardinals got the big one tonight against Skubal. And big bad one for your Cubs. God, the bullpen, come on.
I know.
Blew that game. Cubs 45-1 now after the loss. The schedule's so easy the rest of the way.
I'm really wishing that I was able to get down. DraftKings keeps us up. It's not here in Nevada. We also can't bet there. That plus 650 going back to Friday is looking terrific today. looking because think about this. They're tied with the Tigers, like you said. They each have 12 wins. They have 3 more in Coors starting tonight. And
it's Sensatella and then Marquez.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
So there, if you're watching the show, there's the updated. If not, I mean, we're telling you, the radio audience hear the same thing. It's down to the Phillies, Tigers, Cardinals, and Twins for the most part. Maybe the Royals can sneak back into this thing. They're 2 back. But the rain in Minnesota, I think, is probably going to play. If the Cardinals win this game tonight against Skubal, though, huge. Oh, my God.
Yep, huge. And to help the 6-0-1 run, last 7 series for St. Louis, as they've won 13 of 15. What a season.
No kidding.
Got this going on. Minnesota out of nowhere. Losing streak for the Dodgers. 3 managers whacked? A lot going on.
Pirates can't score more than 3 runs.
No, Orioles are a joke. Incredible.
Okay, so props that we have on the board for tonight. DJ LeMahieu, of all players, against Patrick Corbin, 58 plate appearances, 22 hits, a .379 average. I should say 58 at bats. 3 triples, 6 home runs. He's 10-1 to go yard tonight. Is this one of those things where you're like, if I don't put at least some pizza money on that and he goes yard, I'm going to be pissed off at myself?
Damn right. Yep.
So you can find 10-1 on him.
He's plus 165, 2+ total bases.
Those
went 2-0 yesterday, too, with Benson and Freeman.
Mm-hmm. Pete Alonso against Walker Buehler, 5 of 16, .313 average, 4 home runs. Buehler is coming back tonight from an IL stint. You also have Wilmer Flores against Michael Lorenzen, 7 of 14 lifetime. That's a .500 average, 3 home runs. And we got an email earlier today saying that they parlayed LeMahieu and Flores to go yard tonight based on the batter versus pitcher history. Pays 88-1.
There you go.
But Flores recently had that 3 home run game.
Mm-hmm.
So
he did.
He in fact, I'll double check that. After that game, he was leading Major League Baseball in RBIs. Yeah.
Turner owns Sensatella, and Steer has good numbers too.
Mm-hmm.
But Falter's been a disaster against the Reds. Last 6 starts, 0-4 with an ERA of 9. Yet in the Reds who are hot, Pittsburgh can't score. Reds are only $1.40.
You like that one?
Another one, yeah.
I'll give you some other batters tonight. Kyle,
you got to pay a price though on Turner with his props.
Yeah, you do. Stowers for the Marlins, Baez Tigers, Bryce Harper, Rowdy Tellez, Luis Garcia, and Tyler Stevenson all have they have 2 home runs versus tonight's opposing starting pitcher. And unfortunately, the ballpark is not exactly like super batter friendly tonight in Chicago for the White Sox Mariners game. Tellez is like plus 450 to hit a home run. I was looking at him. I was hoping it would be like around his regular number at plus 550 or 6-1 in that game to make a bet on it tonight. I did not. And another prop here to I think maybe consider. Luzardo goes in that Phillies game against the Rockies. They strike out 28.1% of the time against lefties. That is the most in Major League Baseball. Recent lefties against the Rockies. Sanchez had 7. He went over 6.5. Patrick Corbin had 9. Robbie Ray had 8 to go over. Chris Sale, 10. Lodolo, 9. Gore had 13. Recent lefties who stayed under, Bubic, Reagans, and Abbott. But all those other guys basically either went over or they flew over. And Luzardo is at 5.5 tonight, a guy that you love, Paul.
Yep. It's great.
I haven't bet it, but it's a consideration there with him.
Yeah, a little disappointed in Sanchez, although he got the win, but they touched him up a little bit, and then they exploded late. I got that Yurfee I mentioned as well, running the first inning. Yes, in the A's-Angels game, Hendricks has an ERA of 9 in the first 2 innings. You can touch him up early, and we've talked about all year, it's a launching pad there in that ballpark, so I think you can get a run early in that game.
Yep, I did bet the Fever. I laid 1.5, 22 cents on that in the first quarter tonight against the Atlanta Dream. They went 4-0 against them last year, and I know that the Fever are clearly a different team this year than they were last year, much better. But the numbers that Clark put up as well, she played a zillion minutes. Maybe that's not going to be the case tonight because, again, they were super impressive in Game 1, blowing out Chicago. They're now laying 7.5 here at Circa in this game. So maybe she played 35 or more minutes in every game against Atlanta last year. Maybe that's not the case if they are blowing them out tonight. But I did lay that number in the first quarter, and she is 6-1 to have a triple-double at most books in this game tonight after she was 13-1 in game number 1, and you saw minus 170 for Caitlin Clark to have a double-double tonight. Also, the assist prop, it's 10.5 at most books. Overs plus money. You can still find 9.5, but you're laying some severe juice on that tonight with Caitlin Clark. And in the NBA, good write-up at vsin.com. Dan Karpuk put this out last night. And the analysis on betting Anthony Edwards when he did. Now, his prop has moved. It was 27.5, I think, late last night, down to 25.5. But overall, in the 4 regular season games against the Thunder, Edwards stayed under this number 3 times. He had point totals of 17, 20, 23. And the one game that did go over the prop was 29. In those games, he shot 24 of 66, which is only 36%. Turned the ball over 14 times. And he is 44 and 44 over, under, to that number at 27.5 on the season overall.
All right. You got to take the hockey game under tonight, don't you? 5.5 under minus 130. Anderson 7-2 with a 1.36.
Are you going to get involved with his saves again?
No, this is different. Not with Florida. Although everyone's, you're going to get gassed. You're going to run. The fatigue's going to get you. I mean, you're 4 wins away from going to the finals for the 3rd year in a row. It hasn't happened, but maybe this short turnaround gets them after going to Toronto, and then you got to come back now and take on Carolina. But Jonathan Davis is playing Carolina to win game 1, but Florida to win the series.
Right.
I like that. That's what he did today at vsin.com with his write-up and all the props that he has. They're $1.30 to win the game. I don't mind Carolina first period, which is a good price. $1.40 money line, and then if you want to lay a half, it's like plus 165. But great at home, good defense, number 1 penalty kill, and I think you're catching Florida at the right spot in the right time.
It's a bad spot for him tonight. Can I ask, why did we get it like it is tonight in the NBA and the NHL? Shouldn't the games tomorrow night be played tonight?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Knicks close out the Celtics on Friday. Pacers have been waiting forever. Now there's a 5-day break between games.
Should I do it? It's ridiculous. I'm with you. He is 23.5. Every game went under against Washington.
And the numbers were, 20.5 and 21.5?
Yeah. He's going to have 24 saves tonight? As strong as they are defensively?
Well, I mean
there were instances where there was a 4-minute power play. Yeah. Washington didn't even get a shot on goal. I mean, this is...
Are you concerned, though, the way that Florida is just a different animal? And the way they came out in Game 7 against the Maple Leafs, I mean, that was utter domination to begin the game. Yep. And then after it was a scoreless first period, forget about it, they came on the second period, and they kind of repeated that performance again.
Mm-hmm. I think 6.5 is too high for Game 1 tomorrow, based on what we've seen the last couple of games out of Edmonton.
Yeah, I would not be playing over that. To get 7?
Yeah.
It has to beat you. I would not be playing that number.
Yeah.
What do you think about the first period tonight? 1.5.
I like that under too.
Okay.
Because every game went under except that fluke in the last series.
Right.
There was just 2 soft goals in that Game 5 against Washington. It was only like 7 shots on goal. Before the line moves, the sharp plays at sharpplays.com already there. They don't chase the market. They move it. You're not going to outmuscle billion-dollar sports books or full-time pro bettors on your own. But with the sharp plays, you don't have to. Powered by cutting-edge AI and trusted insider sources, Jeff and the guys at Sharp Plays deliver the edge that serious bettors rely on. Free betting reports, real-time alerts, market-moving insights, all delivered right to you via email or X. They've been with us since day one. He was on a couple weeks ago, and their track record goes back to 2011. Receipts, public logs, and results right there on the site. Also incredible that he mentioned there are several Mr. Poisons and Duffelbag boys out there. Respected, watched, and feared. That's a Sharp Plays. Check them out now, sharpplays.com.
Did he tell you that when he was on?
Yeah.
There are several Duffelbag boys out there who will just bet huge parlays and lay 35 points with college football teams.
Yeah. And then the poison stuff, too, where the record or it's just firing, betting crazy limits and you're a loser, so they'll give you what you want, that type of stuff, too.
All right. We have 2 props to bet on in the National Football League as the league votes on both of them tomorrow. We'll get into that coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger, Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We will get some big news tomorrow in the National Football League. A couple of things are going to get voted on by the league. One, will the tush push get banned? Green Bay, right? The team here at the forefront of this whole thing saying, guys, we got to... And I like how everybody, by the way, is playing dumb on the team in the organization. Some of the comments from like the GM and others just like, yeah, I don't know. Just, they say it's a kind of a big deal and I don't really know too much about it. And
does it remind you of Deflategate? How the Colts came off like losers and then what it turned into? They beat you by 50 points.
Kind of.
So they took a little pressure, allegedly, out of the ball. Who cares?
Well, but here's the thing. How is this not a football play?
Yeah, right. And the other thing is, it's only Sirianni's right. It's only successful by Philly. Other teams try it, and it's a disaster.
Well, you like what Baltimore's been doing.
But they use it with they did it with Andrews, though, sure. What they did with Andrews, but also Green Bay tried it, didn't work. They brought in Kraft, it worked a couple times as well. So the Packers were doing it late in the season. But how Philly's done it for years now has been great. But we've talked about it's because Hurts can squat 500 pounds.
You know what it's like? When you watch the Eagles do the tush push and they pull it off with perfection, and then you watch a team like the Bills, even with Josh Allen try, and it's just a total mess. It's like watching somebody on Dancing with the Stars. And then you go to a bar at 2 o'clock in the morning after somebody's had like 10 drinks and they're trying to do the same move as the guy on TV on Dancing. And you're like, dude, you better knock it off right now. You have no chance. That's what it looks like.
Yep.
It's not even the same sport almost. And they're pros. They're the best at what they do.
Sirianni says it's because it's successful for us. It's unfair that you want to get rid of it. And that it's also not an automatic play, an automatic first down. That's insulting about how difficult it is. The Packers submitted a revision of their rule proposal that would ban pushing or pulling the ball carrier anywhere on the field. The vote's tomorrow in Minneapolis at the spring meetings, and a couple Eagles players have said it's only a yard. Okay, we just won't push then, but we'll still continue to do it.
That's the thing, right? Is that they could still line up like this where the three players behind Jalen Hurts, in theory, they're not going to be allowed to put their hands on him, and then hence the tush push. Like they can't do that, but they can still line up in big groups there, side by side, have like all 10 guys in the line or close to it, and then Hurts is probably going to get it anyway. I think that's probably, is that going to be fair?
This is asinine.
Or is everything's going to be eliminated now?
Yeah, right. The tush push, think about what we're doing here. They won't fix the onside kick, which is a non-play now. They're still going to try to no one wants anything to do with the get rid of the onside and go 4th and 15, which is a home run idea. They won't do that. But the tush push appeared in only 0.28% of total plays last year. The Eagles and Bills ran the play more often than other teams. 163 pushes in the past 3 seasons. 87% of their tush push attempts resulted in a touchdown or a first down. The rest of the league was 71%.
Oh, by the way, I'm over here, I guess, on my own, along with Mike Pereira, only the guy who was in charge for many, many years of NFL officials and has been at Fox Sports forever. He totally agrees with me. They're going to get rid of the tush push, but yet this stupid pass interference thing is going to continue to be a thing for 100 years.
Yeah,
spot. We're going to throw it up 60 yards in the air.
Yeah, right.
It's going to be uncatchable, and there's maybe some contact, and it could have been offensive, defensive, I don't know, but you're going to get it's going to go down to the spot, and it's going to be first and goal at the 2-yard line. Like, why is that? Nobody complains about this enough, though, to pass that? I'm just baffled at the whole thing. Anyway,
well, I would bet that they're gonna ban this tomorrow, and that's available.
Let me give you the number on that.
Yeah.
Globe Offshore, you can find. Will the tush push get banned? Yes is -$4. The no is +250. I would not bet the no.
Yep. And they're on top too, so everyone has the jealousy and envy with Philadelphia as well.
I cannot believe it's gotten to this point.
No, it's ridiculous. I love the guy too, but the first guy who said this was Peter King. He said it's not a reminds him of rugby and get rid of it and all that. But this one, I think we're on different sides. Will the playoff reseed proposal get passed? Yes is plus 425. I think they're going to do this because it's good. This is what Goodell wants. So the Lions resubmit their proposal to base the seeding, playoff seeding, on record only. Mm-hmm. They revise it to make it read a little more cleanly. You would take the 7 playoff participants and seed them based on record. Although it came from the Lions, Detroit President Rod Wood admitted last month that the proposal was made at the behest of the league office. The commissioner wants this to happen in the hopes of making late season games more compelling. Can he get 24 votes? I say yes. Under the current system, division winners often lock into a specific seed with a week or 2 left in the season. With no fear of losing their spot on the playoff tree, they can rest starters in week 17 or 18, Mike Florio writes at Pro Football Talk. It's all about ensuring that as many games as possible are interesting and compelling so that the various and ever-expanding standalone window will include more games worth watching. I'll take it a step further. You can't go 7-10 and host a playoff game against someone that won 11-12. That's stupid. And what you pointed out, what just happened with the Vikings, how good that division was with the Vikings and the Lions and what happened.
Well, you're going to get this most years, Paul. Again, who thinks this is a good idea? I will completely disagree with you all day long. That if you go back and look at last year, the Lions won 15, the Vikings won 14. Remember, that came down to the final Sunday night game of the year, by the way, in Week 18. Who was going to get the number 1 seed overall? Who was going to win the division?
One of the biggest.
And the loser dropped to the 5 seed.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And they had to go to play the Rams, and they got absolutely buried in that playoff game. And by the way, the Packers won 11 games. So because the Buccaneers won a crappy division, they won 10 games. The Falcons finished in second place. They were 8-9. So the Buccaneers deserved a home playoff game over the Packers, or a better seed than the Packers did, because the Packers won 11 games and finished third place in their own division? How is that logical? I'm sorry, you're never going to win me over with that. They have to get this revised. Remember, it used to be silly in the NBA when you look at playoff matchups, like the seeding breaks down like this because they won their division, and yet
did a good job.
They're the 2 seed, and 5 other teams had a better record than them.
Yeah, did a good job. I mean, it reminds me of all those years in the Big Ten when Ohio State would play the trash whoever won that other division, where it's based on geography, it's just random luck, or how it's, all these teams are bad and Ohio State's going to beat them by 20.
Sure.
Whatever it is in the Big Ten title game, because Iowa, Wisconsin, whoever in that other division, which was crap.
And rest assured, it'll play out like that most years.
Yes.
Where you're going to have 2 or 3 really good teams from one division, and there's going to be a super weak division with maybe even an 8, because we've had below 500 teams win their division before, 9 or possibly a 10-win team, and they're going to get that, 4 seed probably, and the other team that has 2, 3, maybe in the last year's case, 4 more wins, they got to go on the road. Dumb.
How much are you bothered by they won't fix or get rid of the onside kick, which is just almost become impossible to recover one now?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Change. I mean, they should absolutely do something with it.
Can you imagine the sports book and what that's like? Okay, here we go now.
You know what happened, by the way?
They cut it to 6. Now, no more onside kick. It's their ball, and it's 4th and 15. If they convert, they keep the ball.
Because they're probably afraid that another one of their stupid rules that I just mentioned will come back and bite them in the ass. A 4th of 15, you throw it up, 30 yards down the field. Oh, look at this. Pass interference, automatic first down. And now you're going to go from the 22-yard line or whatever it is all the way down to midfield. But yeah, of course, Paul, it's virtually impossible to recover an onside kick. So that is actually a much worse football play than something like the tush push.
Want to know where the money's really going? Unlike other sources, our splits come straight from Circa and DraftKings, giving you insight into where the sharp action's landing. Circa's known for taking huge bets from pro bettors. DraftKings provides a broader market perspective. See the percentage of bets versus percentage of handle on every game across every major sport, helping you make smarter, more informed bets. People love it. Can't get enough of the splits. Check it out. Join the team as little as $9.99 for your first month. VSiN.com/subscribe. Get those betting splits. VSiN.com/subscribe. Had a bad beat if you bet Man City to win to 0. Bournemouth scored late. Man City won. Man City opened 190. They closed 320 in that game.
Okay.
And won 3-1.
So we're just going to close up shop here on the entire season, and we're still not going to have an answer to what happened with the points.
All-timer, right? An all-timer.
Does it leak into next year?
Season's over Sunday. I mean, it's just the corruption and something stinks. They came right down on Nottingham Forest. They came right down on Everton. All these charges. The trial was in December, and nothing ever happened. Oh, what a joke.
So when does the resolution come then?
I don't know what they're
Does it get swept under the rug completely? That can't happen, right? Because there was an actual trial.
You're going to start the year with it? It was perfect. Let's just say, okay, here it is.
Huh?
You knocked down 30 points. You're not going to win anything anyways. And take your medicine, but you're not going to get relegated because it's not because still you've done well and the severity won't kill you.
Our buddy Paul Charchian joins the program coming up next. What is he hearing on J.J. McCarthy this year for the Vikings as a starting quarterback and his betting approach for Game 1 and the series? Wolves Thunder next here on VSiN.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.